Hello, everyone, and welcome to Soulprism Podcast, where we share bite-sized nuggets of wisdom for your body, mind, and soul for the emerging soulpreneur. My name is Tammy Mack, and I am so excited about today and interviewing Juliette Stapleton, who is a visibility by design expert, and a human design enthusiast. Let's talk about visibility through marketing, through human design, and through whatever outlooks or whatever it is that we use to be visible in our business. And so I'm curious, I know that you use human design, and I know that I use human design quite a bit. For you, if you were to tell somebody how to use their human design and the visibility by design, what would be the 3 things that you would focus on the most?
There's actually only 3 things that I focus on the most. I am a very, maybe you call it a fundamentalist in this respect. When I was studying, I started with Ra's teaching, went away everywhere. I know that you're a big Karen Curry follower, and she's your mentor, and so I kind of looked at that, and I went back to Ra simply because it was, first of all, 5-1s are very close profile to me, so I realized I really get him, so it was fine for me to go. And he comes up, it's very disjointed sometimes, but he comes up with some gems. And one of the things that really stood out to me was when he was talking about money and making money with human design. And he taught a couple of courses. It was at the end of his career and lifetime. And he said, I hate teaching about this. This is ugly. This is all off material plane. If you're aligned, you do not need to change. You don't need to make money. You don't need to, run a business. This is all material plane. This is a line 3 world, so, but I'm a realist. I live in this world. So of course I'm going to make money. There's nothing wrong with that. This is our lifetime experience. We don't need to strive for some sort of like super aligned perfection when we are living in the world that is imperfect. We just need to be aware of it. And so how can we bring this, all together? And there's another unrelated, in a different instance, another thing that Ra said. It was like, we get seduced by the knowledge. We get seduced by the knowledge. So you come to human design for direction, and then you get seduced by you need to know everything, and this is me speaking now, you're getting paralyzed because you're too concerned about what gate is saying to say what in your content, and so you don't create content altogether, or you create content out of that information, but it's not energetically backed up because actually deep down you don't give a flying banana about it, right? So this is something that I've noticed, and this is why I always focus on 3 main things, but I do give people knowledge. So for example, my marketing blueprints by designs, they're like 50 pages of dense information. But I focus on your type, projector, manifesting generator, and in relation to showing up and to marketing, because where in your type, that's your energy reserves, and also how you're using your energies. So for example, if you're a generator, you have access to the life force, but a lot of generators I know are completely paralyzed in their marketing and visibility because they're trying to be too perfect, because they're trying to do things that somebody said they should be doing. They're giving their power away instead of playing with it, trying it, trusting. The trust sometimes is missing, and so they just literally do nothing, or they do very little and then stop again. And that's something that can happen. Or manifesting generators, too impatient, and they're trying to force themselves into this one process and to do this one thing, and they hate it. It's a torture. So what sort of energy are you exuding when you feel like this is a torture for you because you made a 15-point to-do list, and on number 3 you lost interest, right? It's not going to be working. What works in visibility is when you are magnetic. When are you magnetic? When you are in the flow, right? You're lit up, you're happy, and we can't be. Not everything in our business makes us feel like this, right? So we have to kind of navigate. So I always talk about the type and what are the common blocks with this type, so you can recognize, so you can consciously say, hey, hang on a second, am I a generator? Am I being a perfectionist? Or a projector? Am I trying to tell them that I'm the best for the job? Because you know what, when a projector says to the world that they're the best for the job, nobody listens. Nobody listens. I was at a family gathering, which is between me and you and the world who is listening, are very incorrect people, right? So I wouldn't be hanging around with these people. It was family, you have to gather. So we got together. And there was a couple of people, a couple of conversations. Every time I spoke, they spoke over me. It was extremely rude. It was just horrible. And then I was sitting there and thinking, I'm actually not speaking because I have something of value to say. I'm speaking out of trying to be polite and not come across like I don't care about any of them and I'm better than everybody else. I don't belong to this group of people, but every time I try to say that I know this and I have an expertise in this, they just cut me at my root, and they're just wrong people. They don't see me. So we do that in our marketing as well sometimes. We create content following some sort of templates or something, and they say, okay, focus on I don't know, pain points of your client, but that doesn't light you up. And you're still creating this content, and then you're like, I'm the best person for the job because I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. But deep down, you're like, please just like me, is it okay that I'm here? So you just have this energy and it's palpable. It's not visible, but it's palpable. And so there's no results. So the energy is very important. What else comes with that is consistency. How do you manage to be consistent? Because, it's not only generators can be very inconsistent as well because they overthink usually, but they can be, manifesting generators can be very inconsistent because they're just jumping, they're not jumping. They should be jumping from one thing to another, but they're trying to stick to one thing, block like 2 hours, and then, it just kills them inside. You have to understand how your energy flows to work with it. As a projector, for example, in my own business, I am so laid back. I'm almost horizontal. It was very scary the first year when I consciously decided to run my business as a projector, and I stopped hustling because I was a Facebook personal profile organic marketing specialist. That's a lot of hustling. That's sending friend requests and posting every day and doing this, this whole to-do list of things to do. And I stopped all that. And I started focusing on just, expressing myself and being a guide, and truly be a guide. And it was very scary because it's very little work. It's very little doing. I use a lot of automation, but it's a good kind of automation. It's a repurposing of the stuff that I create when I'm really like, I have to share something I've researched, I have to share with the world. And also my collective circuitry is the most prominent. So I am here to share with the world. Yes, I am about, I want to help people individually to empower themselves, but it's not even about me walking my walk. It's about my vision of, something that I need to share, the perspective. And I find that even when something I create is not related to my business, I attract clients because I speak with this energy. So this is so the energy, it's very important. The next thing is your decision making, which is, we spoke about the splenic authority. Your authority is so important. The decision making is what, even if we don't know anything about human design, but how you make your decisions determines everything, right? If you make correct or incorrect decisions, that's how your trajectory of life and business and everything happens. So how do you know? If you know your emotional authority and you're being pressurized into signing up to something that you didn't even know they're going to be selling on you, right? And you're there on the call and they're like, we will give you 3,000 off this 10K package if you sign right now. You don't have enough time. When you know you have emotional authority, you will know with full confidence that you cannot make a decision there. You will not feel bad. You will never allow anyone to kind of pressure you into something that's incorrect for you. And then when you're ready, you will also know whether it's actually correct or incorrect. Most of the time, those kind of scenarios are incorrect, trust me. But anyway, I'm just saying. So this is so important to know. This is important to know what to focus on, what to say, most importantly, what to say no to. This is the scariest thing, to make a decision, to say no in your business. Can I say no to, say, for example, growing my audience consciously? If everybody says that this is something you have to do, how can I just create content? And who's going to see it if I don't grow my audience? So there's a level of trust that's required, that if your content is out there and traditional stuff is also important, right? A little bit of SEO, like optimize it a little bit, put it on the right channels, the right people will get attracted to you. Right now in my business, 97% of my clients, I have a spreadsheet, come from Google. They find me through Google. I never 2 years ago, never even could have thought or dreamt about this. But this is it. So when my husband was sick, 3 months, I didn't create a single piece of content. And my business was the strongest because it kept delivering, because I could step back. That's a dream. That's a dream that, I can't teach that to anyone. I can't turn this into a program, how to step back from your business. But I'm talking about this only because to showcase that it's possible when you trust that this is something that you can do. And then the next question, the third part, is what is making you magnetic? How can you express yourself in a way that is magnetic? Like, how are these 97% of my clients are finding me on Google? Because I've expressed myself. And you know what? I've expressed myself and my vision from my profile. So the profile is very important. The combination of these two lines, how you expressing yourself and how other people see you, and giving yourself permission to really lean into it. So as a 1-3, I talk about myself. The scariest permission I had to allow myself is to talk about myself more and not feel guilty, right? Because when I talk about what I see, this is my angle as a 1-3 in my content, I see this. That's where people feel seen too. I wrote an article about 5-1. There is no teaching. There is no breaking down some classic things. I'm talking about people in my family with line 5. I'm talking about 5-1s that I had a switch from positive projection to negative, and how this works. I talk about projection field. It just fascinates me so much. I'm already getting excited talking about it. So that energy is in that article, and that explains why it's so magnetic, right? I talked about what I see. So it's about 3 things: your energy, for your consistency, for how you're showing up, for how you manage your business, your decision making, because everything is affected if you allow incorrect stuff in your world, right? And the profile is your brand voice. There's other things that you can find inspiration in: the gates, the channels, the incarnation cross. It's about the awareness. We love this word, right? The awareness. It's about awareness, the fixed energy that you're broadcasting. This is what you bring. Like when people with me and I have a defined spleen, they start trusting the process more. They start getting more intuitive, and they kind of like go with the flow a little bit more, and maybe they get ideas and inspirations from me. But when I'm selling with the openness. I'm selling with my open will that says, hey, you're not here to go get and set targets. You're here to be open to receive. And that's kind of opens up the magnetism. The hanging gate, I'm a small split, so I have 11 is my split, right? So 11, when you're selling through it, it's all about harmonies. It's all about inspiration ideas. So my messaging in my business, like, come to me, and with human design, I will help you find more harmony in the way. You will have more ease. You will have ideas and inspiration that, bring you this harmony. I'm selling harmony. How amazing is that? So this is more about messaging and just inspirations. If I didn't know anything about beyond my profile, my type, my authority and my profile, I would still be able to create magnetic content because I wouldn't be overthinking. I would just let it flow. When we follow our strategy and authority, other things activate, whether you're aware of them or not. Human design is about mechanics. It's not something you control. It's a mechanical thing. It's there, whether you know about it, you don't know about it. It's just there. What you can do is you can be aware of it, and then you can, adjust things accordingly, that you don't go against the grain, that you're flowing down the stream, not trying to, swim up the stream, and it's hard. So that's what I cover. And you know what? It's really, really wonderful because it gives you, again, it gives you the chance to find that harmony because you're choosing things that are easy for you, that are so natural for you. It doesn't feel like working. That's the bottom line.
I love that. And so it's interesting where you go with the big 3. Sometimes I go with the big 4. And the big 4 for me is your values. Because whatever is on your highest value is going to be the easiest. That is your zone of genius. For you, it's being beautiful. It's being visible. It's being seen. Like, that is natural to you. Like, there's no effort. Like, that's just second nature to you. For me, like, this is who I am. I am 100%, beautiful and okay. And I'm so grateful. And and natural for me is the way that I show up. So whatever's on your highest values is where you have to work less to do. When you're trying to people please, when you're trying to do something outside of your highest values, that's where you have to put work into. But if you're just naturally being yourself, right? Embodiment B 6-2. If you're naturally being yourself from your highest values, that is the easiest way for you to show up. So first is values, second is vibe, right? Your vibration. And so that's where we can go into the human design. This is where we can go to the energetic cleanups and the maintenance and the alignments, and which I really love to do as an energetic alignment mentor, is really helping you fine tune what's getting you out of alignment. How can we bring you back into the easiest alignment? Because when we're looking at your frequency, this is your vibration plus information equals your frequency. Your frequency is how other people see you, is your vibration, is your frequency. So what is your energy telling not only yourself but to others? And like the truth, right? Not how I'm faking it till I make it. Who is the truth of who I am? What is my vibration? Because your vibe attracts your tribe. The third is your vision. We have to have a vision. I'm a visionary leader. I see the big picture. So whether the vision's from the ground floor up or whether the vision's from the top shelf down, right? What is your vision? Why are you here? What is it that you value? What is it that you're sharing? What is the vision that you're sharing with others? And how can you share that vision in a way that they want to join you in that vision, or whatever it is that your business is about? And then last is your voice. Your voice is so important. And this, once again, we can look at through, the marketing, through, your lines and your profiles and your Mercury. And if you're over 40, I go into your Neptune instead, right? So we can go to totally nerd out on all that kind of stuff to find what your unique voice is, what your tone is, what it is that, feels the most natural, that you don't have to try. Like, this is just who you are. So when you're in that full alignment, when you're in that full embodiment, when you're fully showing up and shining through your solar plexus and lights up from you, then you become a lighthouse and you don't have to sprinkle it around like a landmine.
I love that. I absolutely sign up. So we have values, vibe, vision, and
voice.
The voice. I subscribe to this straight away. I love it. I love it. But you know what? It's interesting because it made me think. So I actually offered a bottom line where you offered a deep dive. There is no really, I find that in the beginning, when you come to this, you some things can go over your head. That's what I've discovered. And I'm not talking about coming to human design. I'm talking about, for example, starting the business and using the online space for your visibility. There is, even when you have a vision, sometimes you're afraid to allow yourself the vision, right? Sometimes you, maybe you have the values, but you're afraid to just embody them with what you are, for whatever, the fear of judgment is huge, especially in the beginning. The more we show up, the more we see that it's irrelevant, that the correct people only start admiring us and respecting us much more, and the incorrect just disappear. It's something that is just in our heads. And it's interesting how it depends on your personality, I suppose, how much detail you need. In fact, what was that assessment called when you're talking about cognitive action taking abilities, right? For me, I'm an action taker. I am not a fact checker, even with 1-3, right? I don't like the detail. You just give me the bottom line and I will then see if I get it, I will take action immediately. And so I think that I'm coming from that, even though I'm giving a lot of information, but that's what people want. So, we also realists, right? We're living on the material plane. And when people want information, you want to give them good information and not sprinkled with every second page is a huge picture, right? You want text. So that's what I deliver. However, it's a bottom line stuff. It's like, get this. But what you have is a different approach, and I actually see how the further you are in this visibility, the more even valuable this is. So for me, for example, getting a reading from you now would be so super valuable because I already got the basics. Now I can really dive into it. I can really, it's like now I can be aware of the details where before it was too many details, so I just didn't want them. So this is so fantastic. No, thank you for sharing this. This was lovely.
Yes, I mean, it's noise versus frequency, right? When
Yes.
you're just beginning, there's too much. It's too much noise. It's too much noise. When you have that clarity, you're ready for the fine tuning of the frequency. You're ready for that deep dive. You're ready to be seen and heard fully as yourself. Like the deepest aspect, where truth really lies, is in the deepest aspect of yourself. And so, you know, when my clients work with me, they have to buckle up. They have to know that they're going to be seen on some levels that they probably have not seen themselves. Because second lines, we don't see ourselves. Projectors, we don't see ourselves. We're not here to see ourselves. We're here to see the other, you know, and especially as a left angle. But like when you're seen and heard on that deep level, like as you say, you get chills, somatic, you know, it moves through your body, you get that somatic, you feel like so deeply touched. It's such a different level. And it's not from the head. It really, really is from the deepest aspect within you. And that is where I like to hit my clients. That is where I, you know, to me, like the work that I do, the deep level work that I do, that is where we create change from.
I love this. I love this. You know, like in this episode, we're actually like, we're talking about pretty much the same thing, but I love how different we are coming from two different sides, which is creating this complete synergy of everything. Everything you're saying, I am buzzing. I am seeing in your face when I speak, you're like, yes, and you're nodding. And it's just such a wonderful, I love that we did this because you know, I am, and I would love that our listeners to actually let us know what they felt and what their profiles and types and, you know, human design wise, you know, just not to put you in the box, but just kind of, you know, to see maybe there's some traits and maybe there's some interesting angles, and that I would be very curious to read the comments.
Yes, I am so excited. And yeah, you're right. We have talked a lot about, I mean, everything, every facet from business to life and death to, you know, being a woman to, you know, like all the different facets. And I absolutely love how expansive one little thing such as human design, such as energy can really take you. And so it really is for everybody, regardless of what business you're in, regardless of what healing modality, regardless of what belief systems that you have. There's something there for everyone if you're open to it, if you're available to it. And we're going to see, because I'm collective as you, 40% of my of who I am is collective energy. So I'm always looking at the bigger cycles. I'm always looking at, you know, when I go into astrology, you know, the 20-year cycle, the 10-year cycle, the Saturn cycle, the big cycles. And I'm seeing that we're going through another huge cycle right now. And so being aware of that gives us the opportunity to guide from not only what happened in the past, because when you're looking at cycles, you see what happened in the past, but how can I take what we learned from the past, bring it into the future in a new, innovative way that's going to benefit all.
Yes, 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 and yes to everything you just said. I love it. I am exactly the same way. So maybe we're different and maybe we come from different sides to this world, right? I mean, like the top down or bottom up. But this is it. This is it. It's about how we can take what we're seeing, learning, understanding, becoming aware of, and bring it into the future. So a wonderful wrap up, I think, to this episode.
Thank you so much for being my guest today. This was so much fun, so informative. I can't wait to break this up and share this in bite-sized nuggets for your body, mind, and soul to really serve the emerging soulpreneurs, because we truly have come at this time for, you know, we all feel we have a purpose. We all feel that we have something to share. And many of us are feeling like, this is the time that I was born for. This is the time for me to shine. And so both of us really want to support you in any way that we can support you. So thank you so much for being here, Juliette.
You're very welcome. I had such a blast, and I'm sure that both of our details are in the description to this podcast. So, you know, guys, get in touch with us and see where this journey takes you.